So today we're welcoming Sarah Quintana to Sisters in Song. Hello, Sarah.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for having me.
We're super excited that you're here. Can you tell us where you're coming to us from?
So I am in New Orleans in the Mid-City neighborhood, which is along the bayou, somewhere between the train track and the cemetery.
Right. All right.
I kind of sort of know where that was. I was there for a convention probably, maybe 15 years ago. It's
Yeah.
been a long time. You were there
I
not.
was just there like 2 years ago. Yes.
Very
So
cool. So,
Were you there for
love New
Folk
Orleans.
Alliance?
No, not that. No, we went to Montreal though for Folk Alliance, which was
Oh, that's
also
great.
amazing. But yeah, so it's next year, right?
It's
In
going to
New
be in New
Orleans?
Orleans again. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's
May have to make the
amazing.
trip.
Yes. It's a fun place.
So we are stoked to learn all about your new latest release, Baby Don't. Tell us how it all came to be.
Well, thank you so much for letting me hop on to share. I've played on the roots music scene with different Cajun artists, and in Louisiana, jazz and French music is also kind of part of our roots music tradition. And I'm from here, so I wanted to write a song, write an album of songs that kind of reflects my take on Louisiana music.
Very, very cool. It's
Yes.
it's very fun.
It is fun. I love it. I was telling her I was listening to it all weekend while I cleaned my house, so you kept me company.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
So I know you split your time between New Orleans and France. Is that still accurate?
It is. I have a few shows lined up for the summer and a lot of really good friends there, and
Yeah.
spent most of my 20s touring with various projects.
Very cool.
So it's going to be really fun to go and tout my own record on some of those stages, and also just to eat the fresh veggies and drink the wine will also be really fun.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's definitely a perk of that tour.
Right?
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. There's
What about all
one
the
place I've played in Aix-en-Provence where they have something called l'accueil, and I think that's what it's called, l'accueil. Basically, backstage, there's people that feed you and make sure you have everything you need. And there's a venue called Le Petit Duc in Aix-en-Provence that I've played. And there was a woman who was helping welcome the artists, and she actually brought me homemade ratatouille from tomatoes that she grew in her garden.
wow.
Her name's Miche, and it was like eating the sunshine. It was the best ratatouille I've ever had in my life. So
Oh my God.
Oh, well, that's a nice perk for the backstage.
I was gonna say, what about all of the cheese? Like, could you are you
lots
a
of
cheese?
lots of inspiration for the songwriting happening
Oh,
when
the
we talk
yeah,
about the cheese too.
right. Love it.
So, how did you originally get started in a career in music as a musician, singer-songwriter?
Well, I always played. I have some good family friends that are in New Orleans, kind of on the rhythm and blues scene. The first person to play guitar for me when I was little was Deacon John Moore, and he's a very well-known singer and rhythm and blues artist here. And so I had guitar lessons and piano lessons. I went to jazz school, and I was in France after Katrina, planning on becoming a teacher when I started to get really homesick and started playing New Orleans music just with friends. And then I had a little street performance going with some friends there when I was like 18 or 19. And then we started getting gigs and booked. And so what was just our beer money became, oh, I'm not going to be a teacher. I'm making more money. And I met the right people at the right places and just started developing a passion for the craft, the craftsmanship, and the work involved. From there, I got really interested in voice. I had to do a lot of voice training on the job and in lessons. Um, on the collegiate level, I studied classical, but I never got any formal training other than that. And then I started doing work with a vocal theater company and started just falling in love with voice as a medium as well. So yeah, I love it. I love that I get to develop my skills and also just stay creative and write songs, which is also my medicine.
Yeah.
Yes. I was actually, my next question was going to be about songwriting. So I know that you have some songs that you write in French and some that you write in English. Tell us about your process. Does it differ for both, or how does it all work for you?
That's a really great question. At a certain point when I was living in France full time, like in my 20s, I was dreaming in French. Everything was in French, and I was writing more French songs then. But I find it very difficult to write songs in French that don't fall into kind of cultural cliches and um, Cajun idioms. Like it's very there's a lot of uh motifs in Cajun music that are happening, and I appreciate that and I love it. But when I really wanted to work with the French language, I did a project where we set love letters from World War II to music. And that way I
Wow.
had some text that was quotidien, like everyday love text, but to kind of take and interpret in a way that was singer-songwriter, even a folk ballad, and to tell stories. And I'm always trying to bridge the gap between my French music and cultural background and how do you express something that's new and novel, but that's
Yeah.
familiar and hit lands, and how do you land a lyric in the right way? And I found a lot of inspiration from these love letters from World War II. Now, that was 2018. We had a grant from Marseille 2018 and from the museum in the archive in Marseille.
So
But I don't
cool.
own any of those recordings, so I don't have them, but they're out there
Oh,
somewhere.
Oh man.
but wow, what a cool
Mhm.
project.
Yeah.
Actually, a baby don't plug. One song from that project did make it on the record, and it's called Tout Mon Cœur, and it features
Okay.
Corey Lede on the accordion, and it was written from postcards that
Oh,
were pre-timbré, that were pre-stamped, that went to the front. So soldiers basically bought a card and signed it, and it went out. And it
wow.
was les mots d'amour, the love letters were just the words on the front of the postcards, like mille baisers sur le front, j'attends avec patience, I'll always wait for you, I love you, come home quick, my darling. These types of
Oh,
things
wow.
were on the postcards.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
What a neat thing to write about and wow, just I love that. That gives me goosebumps.
Well, and I was going to say it's hard enough, at least for us, to write lyrics in English. So when you're talking about like, yeah, like landing the words at the right place, I was like, I can't even imagine trying. And I have like smudge knowledge of Spanish. I'm like, I can't even imagine trying to write a song in Spanish. So that's just, that's very, it's fascinating and it's also very amazing. So
Yes.
very cool.
Very cool.
It's such a great question. I forgot about that song being on the record, but that was a big
Yeah.
turning point for me in French songwriting, was the Love Letters project.
Very cool.
Cool.
I wonder if you can look it up somewhere. I'm gonna try and find it.
Yeah.
Now I'm very curious.
Yeah, well, now you can listen to that song off the record. Tout mon
Yes.
cœur, it was by far my favorite. Something about the postcards and the little expressions on the front of the postcard fit so nicely into a blues form.
Oh
Just
wow.
very short and sweet.
So
Very
cool.
cool. Yes, we're gonna. Yeah, that's the album is amazing.
Yes.
It's neat to hear the backstory of some of the things too. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
So when you write, how do you if you get stuck? How do you get unstuck? If you get writer's block, what's a cure? Your cure for that?
I have so many loose ends that I usually just move on, and sometimes I'll pick up like a loose end from another song and put it there. Specifically on the record, I got pretty good and stuck on Just Because, which is a very different sound. It's almost like an indie
Yeah.
pop, like, and Jason Jerzak, my sousaphone player, made some suggestions that helped me Frankenstein together a few different song ideas and make a really neat arrangement with the soprano saxophone. So co-writing, quick answer would be co-write.
I
Another
love
quick
it.
answer is deadlines. Just
Oh
have a
yeah.
deadline. And then
Yeah.
another quick answer is I even change lyrics on a gig to this day. Like songs are never done. So releasing the attachment to the finished perfect product and just letting it always be changing and evolving and growing. And my band hates this, but I will literally be like, guess what? There's a new bridge to this song. Or like, now we're going to sing the A section twice here because I filled it out. And it's like, I don't care if it's recorded and done. Like, it's not
That's
done until it's really
funny.
done, you know?
It's yeah, it's a living, breathing thing.
It
That's
is.
really
It's cool.
cool. And it, keeps your fans on their toes when they come see your shows too.
Well, and really, I think like fans love, at least me as a fan, I love like when there's improvisation or whatever
Yeah.
that comes in, you're like, wait, that's not how it goes. It's just like to catch those things is really fun.
Yes. There's improv on every song we play, whether it's free or within the forum. We're musicians. We all are from New Orleans, where improvisation is a part of our musical culture.
Yeah.
And sometimes the songs want to finish you. Like the song has something to give you that you haven't gotten yet. And that's why being open to hearing other people interpret the material in a new way is part of the process.
So this is sort of off, I guess it's not really off topic. It's still about music, but what is the music scene like in New Orleans? Like we've talked to several people from Nashville, so we kind of have and we've been there, so we have a feeling of that. But what's it like there?
I don't want to sound cheesy, but it is like an amusement park. It's so get in line, ride the rides, and have a time. And there's so many different scenes within scenes and clubs. And I mean, I'm from here, but I love that people from all over the world come to New Orleans to live and make it as a musician. And that every single day and night of the week, there's so many great concerts. I mean, the only other place you could get this spoiled is like New York or Paris. And then to be able to work with these amazing musicians that are legends or see them every night in the week. And I got my like I what's the expression? Grit my teeth, ground my teeth. That's a weird one. I'll have to look
I know
up.
what you're saying, and yeah, what
I
is
I
it?
developed my
Cut your
chop.
teeth.
Cut your
What is
teeth.
it?
Yes, cut your teeth.
I cut my teeth.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
weird.
know why. Yeah,
They're
it's a weird,
fun.
right?
On traditional jazz music. So it's really great to be able to play that repertoire here, and it's so rich in harmony and in melody and in in mood, good great inspiration for songwriting. And that's kind of my background and where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But it's a great place to come and try your luck on the street. When musicians come to town and they ask me for gigs or for advice, I tell them that it's like you have to picture it as like a monopoly board. And go is busking on Royal Street. And then you do that, and then you meet the right people, and then you've got some gigs on Frenchmen, and you pass the free parking and make it to some festivals and hotel gigs. And then you get picked up and you get to share your music on the national stage, representing the city. And then you pass go and do it all over again. And there is definitely cyclical, everything's cyclical in a small community like this. It's very sweet to circle the people, places, and things that enliven you and that you sing about and that you appreciate year after year, because it just makes it seem like the center of the universe. Really, it's just a lovely microcosm of divine, beautiful culture and creativity.
So
Love it.
very cool. I love that. I wish that when I was there, I was there for a conference that I could have gotten out and seen more of that.
Yeah.
We did the touristy things, but that just means I have to go back.
That's right.
Now
That's
you
right.
know me, and I have a guide. I will
That's
make you a
right.
guide.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did make it to a place called the Spotted Cat when I was there. That was the only place that I went that was not our conference, but it was super fun.
I used to sing the 10 to 2 on Thursdays with the New Orleans Moonshiners. So great place to go.
Love it.
Hear some wonderful bands.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was fun. We had a good evening there. So
What do you do when you're not doing music?
yeah.
What are your
Yeah,
favorite things
well,
to do?
I just got off a walk on the bayou with my dog. I teach a lot of voice. I'm a voice coach and I have a master's in speech pathology. So I
Oh,
also work as a voice pathologist, which is
Okay.
basically just a voice coach for someone who has maybe an injury or a voice disorder and needs assistance rehabilitating
yep.
their
Mhm.
voice. And I love both. Um, and I feel really lucky that I get to do work like looking at vocal folds and learning about voice from a scientific background, but
Yeah.
also do a lot of just telehealth and consultation and um what's the word? There's a specific word that I'm looking for, and it is advocacy.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Advocating for vocal health, for which is a healthcare need, and for medically necessary preventative and prophylactic, we'll even say voice healthcare, which musicians need, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You'll find this interesting. She is a sign language interpreter and and I, and I work at a rehab hospital.
Y'all are my
So
people.
there you go.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
a lot of
Y'all are
SLPs.
literally my people.
so funny.
That's just my girl.
It is. It's really cool.
Like,
Those are our day
do y'all go to
jobs.
ASHA? Like, are y'all involved with the whole speech pathology, communication sciences world?
No, I work with physical med and rehab docs, so they do like the PT more than the speech
That's so
part. But they
cool.
do get
I used to,
various lectures.
yeah, I used to work for Boys Town
That's
for Research Hospital, and they did a lot of work with ASHA, and I still work with them
Sometimes, yeah.
part-time, but I work on my own now out in the community because there's a huge need for interpreters right now. So I kind of branched out to self-employment.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, what? How funny!
Yeah.
We're talking about that. I was like, oh, you are our people. That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I went back to school during pandemic after having a lot of shows canceled, like
Oh
everyone,
gosh,
and I just
yeah,
powered through, and it's a nice compliment to being a musician. For me, it works.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, a way to know how to protect your voice too,
Which is
I think a lot of people don't know that.
yeah. Thinking of that, so you teach voice lessons as well. Do you do those via Zoom too, or do you do all of them in person?
Anything. We do workshops in New Orleans. It's my dream to have a physical space, but the telehealth and electronic model allows for anyone anywhere
Yeah.
to get going, and I love it because I can be like in my dream life, not right now. I can be in Italy like drinking espresso and then go see the art and then go
Yep.
do some loud long ahs with my Parkinson's clients and then go get a pizza. So yeah, my idea is how can I be like true to my creativity and my calling and also my resources, but also still live in a very artistic life, seeing art, performing.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I do love being able to just open up my laptop and give lessons
Yes.
and close it.
Mhm.
It's been great.
We are very lucky to have all of these things available to us. And it sounds like you have figured it out. You're very wise.
I'm working on it. You know, I might be in private practice eventually. I might try few different things, but with the people that need this help are great and they want it and their insurance should cover it. And
Oh yeah.
I don't necessarily want to rush into a private pay model when we need to be putting pressure on our hospitals, insurance companies, and government to provide access to affordable
Yes.
health care. So
Amen.
I'm kind of figuring it out. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
But I might end up in private practice, so we'll
Yeah,
see.
someday. That's right. Yeah.
I get it. I'm there too.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So We're going to ask you our 4 questions that we ask everybody.
Yes.
The first one is, what was your first gig? And then what is your favorite or best gig so far?
Yeah, so the first gig I played, the first time I sang for anyone was at open mic night here in New Orleans at a place called the Neutral Ground when I was 14. And it's a beloved coffee shop that had shows that were all ages. I met Gina Forsyth, who's an amazing fiddle player. She plays with Bruce Daggerpon, amazing songwriter. And I fell in love with one of her songs at that time and started tuning into like the roots singer-songwriter and like folk Americana scene here, which has so much overlap with jazz, blues, and Cajun music. So I can't tell them apart. But that was my first gig. And then my favorite gig, there's so many.
I think this is a hard question.
Is there one that sticks out more than others?
Or like a favorite venue? That's kind of
I've played some really nice venues like the Lincoln Center and big festivals in France.
Yeah.
But one time when my grandmother was like 90, she passed at 98 and she must have been 90, 92 or something. She came to a dive bar in New Orleans that was owned by Luke from the Happy Talk band used to own Siberia, and it was a really hip place to play. And my grandma was drinking straight whiskey in the front row, calling tunes, and it was packed. And it was just a cute, like, everyday set I would play out on Frenchmen and play the clubs weekly. But to have my grandma drinking whiskey and my aunties all dancing and celebrating. My therapist came. I know we're not allowed to like say hi, but I don't know, just like all my very favorite people were there. Jackie, one of my best friends, KP. And it was just like so getting cool. The thing that I love is that at any moment a mundane weekday can just become so magical.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of dream gigs and venues I'd like to play. So
yes, we should add that into the question. Yes. Where would you love to play?
I want to play Joe's Pub and NPR's Mountain Stage still, because that tour got canceled during pandemic.
Yeah,
I feel like unfinished business.
That's right. That's right.
Redemption. You gotta get
a redemption tour. That's right. Oh my gosh. So, who are your influences?
I just played a show this weekend where we prepare short sets, and the theme of my set was some of my favorite femme vocalists and songwriters. And just off the top of my head, Irma Thomas, the Soul Queen of New Orleans, everything on tape there has so much good New Orleans music. The backing band, the Alan Toussaint arrangements, just an incredible vocal performer. So yeah, Irma Thomas is up there. I sang a Lasse de Sales song, and she's got an incredible voice and was one of my favorite artists. And I sang a few, we heard some Bonnie Raitt. And these are the types of voices that really move me, both with Bonnie Raitt on the guitar, but also Bonnie Raitt as a person and an artist. I listen to a lot of local music, and I'm kind of in a Louisiana music bubble, and I love it. My friends are all doing so well and continuing to grow in their songwriting and inspire me. Layla McCalla, Alinda from Array to the Riff Raff, Claire Givens from People Museum. I look around to my left and my right, and I'm blown away. Alexis Marceau from Sweet Crude and other bands. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of good input from my musical community here.
I love it because I'm learning names that I didn't know before, so I'll be looking up some
of my really sisters in song, as you might say.
That's right.
That's
right.
And another one of my sisters in song is Anna Laura Quinn, who's just an amazing jazz vocalist that has become one of my really good friends too.
Aw.
So yeah, I could go on about my sisters in song, but yeah.
I love that.
Love that we all need sisters and stuff.
That's right. That is correct.
What would you say you're listening to right now on repeat?
I'm going to sound so arrogant, but our new record is so good and it sounds amazing in the car. I've definitely never listened to my recordings this much, but 20 years of recording and a lot of dreaming to make this project, and then to have it come out so successfully. I'm definitely taking some victory laps right now.
Yay. As you should.
The song How Long was also a real success. It's the power ballad on the record, and Rose Cangelosi's harmonies are so pretty on that one. We just got our vinyl in Friday, and Friday was our release. So we are thrilled with how it came out. Just thrilled.
Love it. Yay. That's so cool.
That is.
We're a vinyl collector, so we'll be.
Yeah, I was just writing that down. I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to be ordering that vinyl.
I'll send you one for sure.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, we'll be happy to purchase it.
Yes, we will, because we want to support all of our fellow artists as we.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. I lost what question we're on. Oh, what advice would you give to other songwriters, new songwriters, and musicians?
That's a very broad question too. Just general advice, specifically to music. I did the artist's way when I was like a young songwriter. I remember meeting this painter, Adrienne Deckbar, at her gallery, and I asked her a similar question, and she said, do the artist's way. And so I did that very early in my early 20s, and it got me on morning pages and artist dates. And so yeah, I would say do the artist's way.
I love it. It's so funny. You're the second person to mention that probably within the last 2 weeks. And I was telling her, I said, I have picked that book up twice. And I'm like, I'm not ready for this yet. So she was like, we need to do it. I'm like, all right, we'll do it together.
So, let's have a book club.
Let's do it for sure. That would be amazing.
It's so good. It's like if AA was an artist's program. It's like artist recovery work. It's really helpful.
Yes.
Okay.
I need to not be afraid of it. Yeah. I was like, I'm not ready for this.
Jump in both.
Yep. Right. Yep. Okay, now it's time for your shameless plug. Where can we find you on social media, website, Bandcamp, any of those, Patreon, anything that you might have to share?
I've got them all. Please follow me at sarahjanequintana.com. Please come to New Orleans and see me play. We'll be at Jazz Fest on the first Sunday. Please follow our journey at Instagram or my website, www.sarahquintana.com. And grab the MP3s or the vinyl on my Bandcamp, Sarah Quintana /Baby Don't.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to meet you and neat to see the connections that we have.
And find another sister in song. I love it.
Yeah, y'all are adorable. Thank you so much for calling.